I'm at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History, which is the world's largest institution dedicated to the African American experience. And when you come in up the steps, you're greeted by this magnificent rotunda behind me, which creates this really unique acoustic echoey sound. From there you go on up the steps to their permanent exhibit, And Still We Rise, which is a journey through the African American experience of culture and history that spans all the way from the slave trade days on through the current 21st century. They also have an extremely large temporary exhibit that rotates throughout the year, probably about 3 or 4 different per year. But we are here to see their latest permanent exhibit, Inspiring Minds, which challenges everyone to come up with their own great invention.
It really is for all ages.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of things in here for small children that we don't have in other areas of the museum. We have a lot of things that you can touch, which is awesome because in a history museum there's often not a lot of things you can touch and engage with. And so the space is really designed to learn history, to learn science, but also to engage and play. The highlight of the exhibition space is the multimedia touch wall. What we're looking at here is the African American timeline, and there are 2 components to the timeline. The first one is the top bar, which gives some facts about African American history through the years, and so this is what's happening in 1968.
Right.
It's designed to give some context because the stars are actually about specific African American scientists and inventors.
Oh.
And so the idea is that when you're learning about the scientists and inventors, and you don't know what was happening in 1967, you can look at the timeline at the top to get some kind of context about what was going on in American history and world history that was important. And so we can go from the African American timeline to another content area on marine life.
Wow.
And the bubbles are all touchable.
Oh,
And so
neat.
when a child comes up and they touch one of the bubbles, you get a fact about the ocean. It might be about the ancient ocean, it might be about the ocean now. And within each of the bubbles, there's actually an activity that a child can do. So this is a puzzle. Some of them are quiz questions, some of them are matching up, you know, a fish or something that is in the ocean.
So Jennifer, I would also think this would be really good for school groups to come in and utilize this space.
It is. We have a lot of school groups that come in, and when they get here, we have an educator that's in the space that shows them how the room operates, and then they go and do a workshop that
Kind of gets their creative juices flowing.
yeah, it kind of hits at another angle. So they get to do something with their hands, they get to create something, express themselves in a way. And so we actually have a lot of different workshops that a school can pick from.
What do you think about this whole big screen thing here?
I think it's good because we get to like learn about the stuff that we really didn't know. So I learned about, like, I didn't even know who this was. So I'm just reading it and I'm finding out who this is.
And is it inspiring you to want to do something inventive?
Yes.
All right, high five to that.
This vignette's on African Americans in aviation. And so here we have a NASA spacesuit, which is very popular amongst young kids. They like to see pictures in front of it. And so this vignette focuses on from the beginning of African Americans flying planes, all the way up until them being a part of NASA.
A lot of cool things in there, but the spacesuit is definitely one of the most impressive.
Yeah. It's like a picture perfect moment.
Yeah.
You get your dad over there snapping shots.
Yeah.
And then this big, bright, bold wall of inventors.
Yes.
How cool. What is this thing right here?
This is a gas mask designed by Garrett Morgan. It's one of the prototypes that we have at the Wright Museum, as well as the stoplight there, the traffic light.
So this is to inspire the young girls.
It is. It's to focus some on African American women in science. And so we focus on 5 different African American women that spans a large amount of time. And so there's some information in the touchscreen about the women.
What's going on in here?
This room is what we call a research room.
Okay.
And we call it the research room because of the database touchscreen, which is here. And the database touchscreen is where we have all of the scientists and inventors throughout the entire Inspiring Minds exhibition in one place. We also have a lot of science content within the space, which is on this wall and that wall. And so it's a little bit more serious.
So we've got another room here off of it, and this is, oh wow, look at a lot more interactive things in here. I bet the little kids like this area.
Absolutely. So this space really appeals to kindergarten through third age grade students. And it focuses on George Washington Carver's life, but also has a focus on nutrition, eating healthy, and so we have the fake fruits and vegetables. We talk a lot about serving size.
And all the different things made from peanuts.
Absolutely, yes. And we tend to think of only peanut butter, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of things that George Washington Carver did with peanuts and soybeans and sweet potatoes. This is our contemporary scientist kiosk. So we can touchscreen. When you start it, there's an intro video. And this is where we highlight some of the scientists that are currently working in science, in technology, engineering, and math.
Well, hey Jennifer, thank you so much. I'm going to take a
Thank
look around at some of these other
you.
vignettes that we didn't get to touch on.
Absolutely, and make sure that you leave a remark at the video recording station. We always watch those. It's very exciting getting feedback from people about the Wright Museum in general and Inspiring Minds.
I'll make
So
my
thank
way
you very
there.
much.
All right, thanks Jennifer. Okay, let's take a peek behind the door of Dr. Ben Carson. Now, he's actually from Detroit. He's now a neurosurgeon at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, who's one of the history makers. Well, there's so many little neat nooks and crannies if you look around. Like here, they've got the plasma globe. These are so much fun. So a third feature of these screens is the A is for Africa exhibit, where they have these different letter blocks coming up, and again, some more information. This kind of ties in with the whole Africa, the exhibit we've got around the lower rotunda. They've got blocks, things to do big puzzles. They also have this cozy, snuggly reading corner. You can grab a kid's book from up there, grab a stuffed animal. Of course, I don't have my kids with me, but how much fun. You can cuddle up here on the pillows and read a good book. So back in this little corner alcove, you can come back here and make a video to share your thoughts on this touch screen here. You just say you want to tell us about your thing, record your video. Very cool exhibit, definitely worth coming to. Lots of great hands-on stuff for the kids to enjoy and the adults too. Let's see. I just did it. How easy is that? How fun. And then you can play back, see how you did. Oh, here we go. Very cool exhibit, definitely worth coming to. Lots of great hands-on stuff for the kids to enjoy and the adults too. I've made part of history here at the African American Museum. Well, the Inspiring Minds exhibit at the Charles H. Wright Museum is a lot of fun, and as you've seen, there are lots of hands-on things to bring the little ones to. And if you're feeling especially challenged, all of these red blocks under here are actually pieces to a puzzle. They create this map of Africa, and I think I'm going to stick around and do it. I'll see ya, I don't know, maybe tomorrow? Let's see. Where do I